Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on AWS. So in this video, we'll see how to update EBS volume and root block device type from GP2 to GP3 using Terraform. So this is the real-time use case where, suppose for example, if you deploy a Kafka cluster or Cassandra cluster, and if you want to update the from GP2 to GP3, then you can make use of Terraform script to update that from GP to GP3. Because GP3 has some advantages compared to GP3, then you can make use of Terraform to update the EBS volume type as well as the root block device from GP2 to GP3. So let us see what are the contents. So here we are going to create a EC2 instance without EBS volume. Okay. Then next we are going to create EC2 instance with EBS volume, and also we are changing the type from GP2 to GP3 of EBS volume as well as the root block device. Okay. So let us see what are the prerequisites. So we should require a Terraform with latest version, and also we should have configured AWS credentials. Okay. So first we'll see how to create a EC2 instance without EBS volume. So let us see the code we have. Okay, so I created a folder EC2 without EBS volume. Okay, so this is the code where we have the provider for AWS and in which region I'm going to create the resource. It is in AP South 1. Okay, and this is a resource block for creating EC2 volume, EC2 instance without EBS volume. Okay, so it has EMI ID. Okay, it is hard coded here, and it's in the instance type t2.micro, and the tag, the name for this EC2 instance. Okay, so let us create this EC2 instance without EBS volume. So the first step will be Terraform init to initialize the provider, AWS provider. So, so this command will is executed to initialize the plugins for AWS. So with the help of that, we are going to create the resources in AWS. Now this is initialized. So next command will be Terraform plan. So Terraform plan, what it does is that it will show us what exactly the resource it is going to create in AWS cloud. So it will show us a template of a resource which is going to create in AWS cloud. Okay, so now Terraform applied to create in AWS and to create this resource in AWS cloud. So it is going to create a EC2 instance without EBS volume. So when I create this resource, it is also going to create a default root block device of 8GB and of type GP2. Okay. Yeah, now the resource is completed. So it is created in AWS. Now let us go to the AWS console, go to EC2 dashboard, then click on instances. Then you can see here EC2 instance created. That is the name, that is EC2 without EBS volume. And this is the instance which is created of type datum.micro in AP South 1A. Okay, by default, it has taken this AZ. Okay, now in the next hands-on, I will show you to update this in different AZs. Okay. Now, if you see here in the storage, click on this EC2 instance and click on the storage. It is created default root block device. Okay. So if I click on this volume ID, and if you see, it doesn't have the volume name. Okay. And if you see here, it has type GP2. Okay, of size 8GB. So this is the default root block device which is created when we create EC2 instance. Okay. So this is how we can create a EC2 instance without EBS volume. Okay, now let us destroy this resource, that is Terraform destroy auto. Yeah, now the resource is destroyed. Yeah, so this is without EBS volume, creation of EC2 without EBS volume. Now let us see uh, the creation of EC2 with EBS volume. So I created a separate folder for that, like EC2 with EBS volume. So in this case, like that is the second scenario here, like creating EC2 instance with EBS volume. So we have this code. So in this case, I've changed I've changed the script with variables.df. So I'm defining some variables here, like what is the type of instance type, like instance type that is t2.micro, then the AMI ID, and then in which region I'm going to create, then the AWS AC. Okay, that is I want to create the EC2 instance in AP South 1A and AP South 1B. Okay, so I'm going to create here two EC2 instances with yeah, ABS volume attached. Okay, I'm going to create the same EMI ID. Okay, which is attached to this EC2 instance. So in AP South 1, this is the EMI ID. In different region, it is different. This EMI ID will change. So this is a script again. We need to initialize the provider, then create the EC2 instance with all the parameters defined like count, AMID, instance type, then in which AZ you want to create the EC2 instance. Then here the important I am defining the root block device here. Okay. In previous case, it has taken by default, but of size 8 GB and type GP2. But in this case, I'm defining its size, the volume size is 10 GB and the type to GP3. And also assigning the name for this volume, okay, that is AWS root 1, AWS root 2, because there are two EC2 instances. And this is the tag for EC2 instance. And I'm going to create ABS volume. Okay, again, the same, the parameters count easy. The type is important here because I want to create ABS volume with type GP3. And this is the name given to that EBS volume, that is AWS EBS volume 1, AWS volume, EBS volume 2. Okay, and this is the attachment. So when you create the EC2 instance, we need to attach this EBS volume to that EC2 instance. Okay, so let us deploy this resources on AWS. The first step is Terraform init. Yeah, so it's done. And Terraform plan to see what resources it is going to create. Yeah, it is going to create 6 resources because 3 resources for each EC2 volume, EC2 instance. Okay, so next is Terraform apply auto approve. Okay, so it will take a couple of minutes to create the resources. So currently I don't have any instances running. So it will take a couple of minutes to deploy these resources on AWS. Yeah. Now, as you can see, uh, 6 resources are added, and you can go to that AWS console, refresh it. You can see there are two EC2 instance, okay, AWS EBS1, AWS EBS2, and of type T2.micro, and these are in separate ACs, AP South 1A and AP South 1B. Okay, so that is what we have defined in the variable.tf file right here. Then here select the EC2 instance, one EC2 instance, then go to the storage section here at the bottom. Okay, then you can see we have root block device. The first one is root block device. You can see AWS root, and you can see the type here GP3 and size 10 GB. By default, when you create a EC2 instance without EBS volume, it will create a default root block device of size 8 GB and type GP2. Okay, so if you want to customize, then you can use this Terraform script to update the GP2 to GP3 and the whatever the size we require for the requirement according to the requirement. Then similarly, if you see the second volume here, this is the EBS volume. Okay, and so this is the EBS volume of type GP3 and size 10 GB. So this is how we can update the type of root block device as well as EBS volume, okay, from GP2 to GP3, because GP3 has some advantages compared to GP3. And this is a real-time use case because, as I said, when you deploy a cluster of Kafka with the type GP2, and later if you want to update it to GP3 to GPT to GP3, then you can make use of this script, the Terraform script. Then you can update it easily without affecting without the downtime. Okay, so let us destroy this resources. So this is all about this video. So let us see in the other video. Thank you, everyone.